Alright, so 22 hours into a 24-hour fast. This is my very simple method of losing weight. So this is body recomposition, losing weight while maintaining muscle. I'm not training, so I'm not going to build muscle, and I'm not even going to the gym like in the video I spoke about yesterday to steal other people's gains. So this is just lose weight while maintaining muscle. And my simple strategy that I'm implementing is 24-hour fasts, and the way you achieve that is by eating one meal a day. So if you eat at 11 a.m. today and then 11 a.m. tomorrow, that's a 24-hour fast. So it's very simple. I'm in a calorie deficit, I'm eating one meal a day, that's a 24-hour fast, and I'm just eating strict carnivore. And at the moment I've whittled it down to just beef. So the plan for today is I will eat my only meal at 11 a.m. It's going to be 700 grams of ground beef, 10 grams of beef liver, 10 grams of beef heart, and I'm cooking that in tallow, and the total calories for that meal is around 1,700. So that's going to put me in a calorie deficit. Combine that with the 24-hour fast, and it's working so far. So all the time it's working, I'm losing weight consistently each day. All the time it's working, I'm not going to change it. As soon as it stops working and I stop losing weight, I mean, the amount of weight I lose each day is probably going to go down, and it's going to taper off because of diminishing returns. But I'll just keep doing that, and then when I stop losing weight, I'll have to reassess and come up with a new strategy. But if you're trying to lose weight while maintaining muscle, this is absolutely how I would recommend you do it. And because you're eating high fat, high protein meals, you don't really experience hunger. If you're coming off of sugar, you will have cravings, so it's a bit different. It's not actually hunger, you're just getting withdrawals from the sugar. So it's still working. The only thing is, this is sort of day 4 of doing this now, and you might be able to relate to this. I would call this the danger zone, right? Because complacency starts creeping in. So when you start something, normally you start a new diet or a new training plan or whatever it is on a Monday, right? And I've done this in the past. I don't do that anymore. I'll start when I need to start. You don't need to set, I've spoke about this before, start before you start. Don't say I'll start on Monday. Start with your next meal. Say you ate a donut a minute ago. It's the next meal. It's not Monday, it's not next week or the start of the month or New Year's resolutions. It's the next time you eat, the next opportunity to improve upon what you was not happy with. So if you are a Monday starter, and I have been in the past, I would start on Monday and I would do really well, stick to whatever the plan was. By Thursday I'd fall off the wagon. And I think psychologically it's because when you have a lot of enthusiasm to start the new plan on a Monday, it's because you've messed up. You wouldn't need to start a new plan if you weren't doing something wrong in the first place. So like my friend, he just consistently does the same thing consistently. So there's no like, oh, I'm going to start on Monday, because he's already doing it. He's been doing it for the last 15 years. But you tend to have these diet binge eat cycles. So you're starting on a Monday because the weekend's been terrible. So psychologically you feel bad about what food you've been eating, so you're motivated to start on Monday. That's uninformed optimism. You're like, oh yeah, it's going to be so good because I'm going to feel good and I'm going to achieve these results. Then you start on Monday and you're still motivated on Monday, still motivated on Tuesday. By Wednesday, you've lost a pound or 2 or whatever, and you're feeling good. Then complacency kicks in, and informed pessimism kicks in, and you start to think, well, I've seen results, and this is quite hard. And then the mind games start, and you start saying, well, but the plan was to be strict carnivore. But the meat and fruit diet's alright. That's still healthy because fruit is natural and it's good, healthy food. So maybe I'll just have a banana. But that wasn't the plan originally. You'd stuck to strict carnivore. Like me, my plan now is strict carnivore. There's no fruit involved. Now I know I still get results with meat and fruit. But the problem is when I eat fruit, it hijacks the satiety response and then I just end up overeating. So, and you can still make progress. So I call this the danger zone. So day 4, Thursday, a week in, whatever it happens to be for you, you're going to hit the danger zone where you've started to see results and the thing you're doing it's actually working. So you think, oh, one slight deviation from the plan won't matter, and that's complacency. You've got a bit of you've seen the result, and now you're thinking, well, I can get away with one banana because at the moment I'm just eating beef, so one banana is not going to make the difference. And that's right, it wouldn't, but that's one deviation, and then it's like a snowball effect, and then before you know it, at least this is my experience, I'm either strict or I'm not, because habits build momentum. One banana, then you eat the apple, and then you've gone over your calorie. Like a banana is 100 calories, an apple is either 50 or 100, I can't remember. If you was in a 200 calorie deficit, just those 2 pieces of fruit, it puts you over your daily calories. So beware of the danger zone, and the way you mitigate that is through conviction and resolve, right? So I'll explain what I mean. With me, I've always found that off the back of binge eating, you feel like crap and you are really motivated to sort this thing out, right? So I fluctuate around 170 pounds. If I binge eat, I go up to like 178, and then I'm motivated to lose that 8 pounds. So I'm really motivated. But if you binge eat food, you will lose 8 pounds in about 2 days, because it's not all body fat. Some of it's just in your digestive system. So if you're in a calorie deficit, you go to the toilet and then you've lost like 2 pounds. So once you're back to the 170, you're complacent again, and then you can kind of deviate. But my goal from 170, you binge eat up to 178, but my actual goal is 155. It's down here, it's not 170. But once I get there, I feel good, I feel like I look good at 170, so I don't really need to get to 155. I don't have the resolve, I don't have the conviction. And the difference this time is I've always focused on, when you've got that motivation and you're at 178 and you want to get down, you have strong conviction until you get back to 170, and then it's no longer your priority. And if you think about the word priority, right, that can't really be plural. So when people say get your priorities right, or these are my priorities, you can't really have two, because priority means, I mean, you could have, I prioritize these 2 things over these other 10 things, but really you have one priority. And when you're 178 pounds because you've deviated and you've binge eaten, your priority is to get to 170. But then once you're back at 170, your priority for me might be, well, I want to grow the YouTube channel, I want to train my dog to a high standard. Now the priorities start to creep out. And with this kind of commitment to the carnivore cut, I've decided I don't have priorities. The only thing that's important to me, I could not upload a YouTube video for the next 30 days. I don't care. Although it's a goal, it's something that I want to grow and see results in. If it means I'm going to deviate from the carnivore, the plan that I've got set in place, then I'm not going to do it. If training my dog, I mean, it's a bit different because I've just made the barrier to entry so low to these things that they're quite easy to do. But even thinking about it mentally, I won't put any extra energy. Like, I could be watching YouTube videos on how to train my dog, and I'd be able to train her to a better standard, but that takes energy, and I would rather be thinking about how many calories are in my next meal. I'd rather be brainwashing myself with the benefits of autophagy and fasting, because you only have so much mental bandwidth. And if I spend all my time thinking about what am I going to say on my next YouTube video and how am I going to train my dog, I can't allocate that energy to appreciating the fact that I'm 22 hours into a fast. My cells are literally rejuvenating. I'm not wasting muscle because I'm eating nothing but fat and protein. All of these things, there's so many benefits, and I want to be mindful of those, and I can't do that while and you can't either if this is something that you're doing. So what happens is, what I'm talking about with the danger zone is, you're motivated and you're not complacent for the first 4 days. You see some results and you think, oh, I've got that in the bag, so now I can focus on the YouTube, now I can focus on training my dog. And then before you know it, you've been out all day making YouTube videos, working, training your dog, you get back and you're stressed, right? Because you've put all of this energy into these other things. So then you eat food. It was meant to be a fast from 11 o'clock, but then you eat dinner. And it was a carnivore meal, so it's fine, but it's over your calories. You've deviated from the plan. Do that after a couple of days, and now you've made no progress. So you're still at 170, but you didn't get any lower. So that's what I've discovered. That's what I've found for myself anyway. So now I start getting progress. Like, I've made good progress just in these 4 days. And I will force myself not to think about, oh, I wonder how I can train recall in my dog better, because she doesn't come back when there's a distraction. She'll come back fine if I'm here in the woods with her alone. But if there's another dog, she doesn't come back. If there's a person, and there'll be videos on how to do that, but I'd have to allocate my energy. So I'm just doing what I know, which is have treats, so she comes back to the treat, so it conditions her response. So I start, even yesterday I was thinking about YouTube ideas, and this YouTube idea that I've got requires a bit of equipment, and then I'm thinking, do I want to spend money on that equipment if the idea doesn't work? Where I'm fasting, I'm like 23 hours into a fast or whatever, whenever that was, and I'm thinking about, I should be appreciating the fact that I'm fasting and have that be, it's my priority. Like I said, you can't have 5 priorities at once. My priority is adapting to carnivore for the long term, losing weight to get down to a goal weight, and then training my dog, growing the YouTube channel. I will do those, but they're not the priority. And if my results are diminished in those aspects, I don't mind. So with you, you might have things, and obviously you've got work, you've got kids, you've got certain requirements, maintaining your house and your car and just everything that life involves. But make sure, if you're trying to lose weight, that is your priority. And I've found with the danger zone, it's dangerous because you can still make progress. So I've made great progress with meat and fruit. Even though I get brain fog, I binge eat, I can still make progress, because you've probably heard the saying, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. You don't make progress like that. You're actually going to go backwards. Or do you stay in the same place? 1 step forward. Yeah, you go backwards like that. Whereas I would say the danger zone, the complacency that kicks in after about 4 days, is 4 steps forward and 3 steps back. So on Monday, you're 178 pounds. By Thursday, you're 170 pounds. So you get complacent, start to focus on other things, binge eat, back to 177 pounds. So you're still better off. You're £1 lighter than you were 4 days ago, but you could be £8 lighter than you were 4 days ago. That's still progress, but that's very slow and annoying progress, when you could just be consistently. It's like my friend. I've been eating meat as kind of a meat and fruit person for a very long time. My mate, I either told him about it or he come across it. He implemented it, and within 3 weeks, he dropped basically all his body fat. My goal is 12% body fat. He got there within 3 weeks because he did it strict every single day. There was no complacencies. He just was consistent with it. So that's the danger zone. And it's dangerous because you still make progress. It's not like all of your progress is lost. and you still get the, oh, I'm heading in the right direction, but you're heading in the right direction very slowly when you could just get it done in 3 weeks. So that's the plan. It's very simple. This is such a simple, it takes literally no thinking about, so you can focus all your energy on the benefits of the system. 1 meal a day, 24-hour fast, calorie deficit, strict carnivore meal, and this time I'm just eating beef. It's literally beef mince, beef liver, beef heart, cooked in tallow, which is beef fat. I was including egg yolks, and I don't think they're necessary. And the reason I got rid of them is just simply because I bought some beef from Lidl, and Lidl actually do really good grass-fed beef, which is very cheap. And you've got to be careful, you've got to make sure that the beef is grass-fed for the majority of its life. Ideally you want 100% grass-fed beef, and the beef I bought from Lidl said 70%. So you know that last 30%, it's being fed grains. The reason you want grass-fed, by the way, is because legally, I think it's something like 25%, there's a percentage of an animal's feed can be inorganic material. And the reason they do that is because you store it as fat. So there'll be like brick dust, bits of microplastics that they feed the animals, intentionally in with the grains, because grains fatten the animal up like they do humans. This way everyone's overweight because we eat a lot of grains. So the body stores this brick dust and plastics and grains as body fat because it's toxic. It does, if it didn't store it, it would have to metabolize it, and it's going through the system, but it just stores it away in fat, and that's good for the farmers because it fattens the animal up, makes the animal heavier, they get more money. So you want grass fed, and the higher percentage the better. So Lidl, 70% grass fed. Anyway, the reason I binned off eggs is because I bought eggs from Lidl, organic. I kind of knew this wasn't a good idea, and the yolks were very yellow. So when you're buying eggs, you want dark orange egg yolks. If it's bright yellow, that means the eggs are high in omega-3 fatty acids instead of omega-6. I think I've got that the right way around. One's good, one's bad. And one is because the dark egg yolks, the chickens are eating protein, so they're bugs out of the ground and they're free roaming, whereas the light yellow egg yolks are on a grain-fed diet, so it's very unhealthy. So I just didn't have any eggs in, so I didn't bother. Well, I had those eggs, but I'm not eating them, so I'm just not bothered buying more. So I'm sticking to just beef now, and I think that's optimal because it's the lion diet. It's what Jordan Peterson does. Michaela Peterson and the hardcore carnivores all end up just on beef. So we're sticking to the plan. Hopefully that helps. You might kind of think, oh yeah, I know about the danger zone because I do it. I'm all motivated by Thursday, and you're getting tired because you've kind of been doing this thing and it's kind of wearing on you. So I hope that helps. The actionable step is mindfulness. It's conviction and reaffirming. I do this, I write down every day what my goal is. And when it starts to change, oh, my goal is to grow the YouTube channel. Well, it wasn't at the beginning of the week, it was to get to 155 pounds. So rebuild your conviction for that goal. So I hope that helps. Speak to you tomorrow. So just to give you an idea of some of the benefits I'm feeling from the carnivore diet, it's mental clarity. I used to get really bad brain fog when I eat fruit or carbs of any kind, really. More energy. One downside though is my sleep's a bit disrupted, so it's not as good, but I've got more energy during the day. Mental clarity. I'm losing weight consistently. I'm not losing muscle. So if they're sort of things you want to work on, then that's why you might want to adopt the carnivore diet.